Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's me, Amy, here once again with you, coming to you from a very cold Chicago. It is freezing here. We had quite the winter week. We had snow, we had freezing temperatures, and they said a blizzard was on its way all week, but thank goodness a blizzard never came. That would have been terrible. But I'm doing my best to stay warm today. I've got my scarf on and my peppermint white mocha. Delicious, keeping me warm on this very cold day. So I don't know what the weather's like by you, but I hope that you're staying warm and that you're feeling good today. So I had a great week, and I just have one reflection I want to share with you today. It's a reflection I've been thinking about for most of the week, and it has to do with my own spirit and my own perspective towards the local church. You know, I've been a consultant and a coach for children's leaders for several years now, and in my work, I have the opportunity to meet with a lot of churches who have issues and problems going on in their churches. And usually a church leader calls me because they have a system that's been broken and they need help fixing, or they have relationships that are broken that they need help with, or they're just out of creative solutions for how to implement their programs. And I love when they call me because I'm a problem solver and a shepherd and a creative thinker, and I love to help church leaders fix what's broken in their church. But this week I've been thinking a lot about how after several years of being a consultant, this is starting to affect my spirit and the way that I see the church. And I think because I consistently see what's wrong with the church, it has affected me, and I'm finding myself lately being extremely critical and extremely skeptical of the goodness and the beauty that God intended for the local church. And today I'm really desiring and wanting something different than that spirit. Yesterday I was with a church all day of children's leaders, and I was so inspired and so impressed by the way that they honored and respected each other. And it's been a really long time since I've been with a group of people in a meeting who tried really hard, above all else, to value and honor each other in the way that they were acting. I watched several times as people would stop the meeting in order to share their feelings about what was happening in the meeting. I watched even a couple times as people saw conflict or experienced differences in the meeting, and because they valued each other and the relationship so much, they would interrupt me and what I was doing in order to speak truth about the conflict or speak truth about the difference they were seeing and work hard to resolve it before moving on with the meeting. And I was blown away by that. It was really remarkable to me. And as I drove home last night, was reflecting on the spiritual maturity and the emotional maturity that I saw in this group. I was inspired. I felt a new little flicker of hope in my spirit for the potential and the possibility of the local church. And I imagine this is what God meant when He established the church and hoped and breathed life into the church. I imagine that He always desired for the church to be a place where relationships were healed and systems were fixed, and the church was really acting and serving as a redeeming center of its culture and of its neighborhood. And that's what I want to be a part of, and that's the church that I am most inspired by. And so I hope the same is true for you today. If you can relate with anything I'm saying, if you've felt down or discouraged or felt a little hopeless about the goodness and the beauty in your church this week, I hope that this weekend, even as you're serving in your church, you have even just small moments where you're reminded of the potential of the church, the goodness of the church, and really the redeeming nature of the church. I hope that all of this is true for you, and that together we would have spirits that are re-energized in order to serve and work in the church and to make the church the best place it can be, the place God intended for it to be. So I send much love to you today, friends, and I hope you have a great weekend and that your week next week is filled with love and grace, and I'll see you next week.